on one second. Hi, Susie. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Okay. So I sat here a little bit bumbled because not bumble. Isn't that like a dating app? No, that's not what I meant. I'm like frazzled. So and Jay, good morning. Hi, Jay. Okay. I'm just trying so hard to get and Amy. Okay, hi everybody. So what's lovely is that we're live streaming both with Heart and Home Orlando and Heart and Home Richmond. So some of you are watching on Heart and Home Richmond, some of you are watching on Heart and Home Orlando. And it's just now clicking. I'm old. It's just now clicking that as I'm responding, I'm seeing my own response picture look differently. And I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? And then I realized that for those of you, I guess this is the way it works. Those of you that are watching through Heart and Home Richmond, by the way, thank you for doing that. When I respond back to you, it shows it from that vantage point, I guess. And then those of you with Orlando, it's showing from that vantage point. All right, technology, as much as I kind of don't like it, it's kind of cool. I just wish I understood it. I wish I was younger and had a brain that still had some capability left of learning the nuance. But I'm grateful that I've got people that can assist me through that. Speaking of that, we're going to cross our fingers that everything goes okay today, because I don't have my technical difficulties standing by. So if for any reason anything goes cuckoo crazy during this stream, just, I'll either keep talking here or we'll just end it. But just as a reminder, we're going to have another premiere later on. So how are you guys? Did you have a good weekend? I know, I swear, every Monday I get here, I don't think about what I'm going to say other than the topics, obviously, with coffee time, which, by the way, oh my gosh, everything was set up. Everything was lovely. I try to do that on Saturdays. I didn't get to it on Saturday, but I did get to it yesterday. So everything for coffee time was prepped and ready. And then we had some power surges. And power went out, flicked back on, went back out, flickered back on. So it didn't go out, but it went out and flickered. And when that happens, like last night, I was getting ready to go to bed. It was early because I don't know about you, but it's like 6:30 and I swear it's like 11 p.m. But I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and, grab a cup of coffee, and I'll tell you why. And when we get to what I'm watching, I was like so excited to go in and kind of retire for the evening and get snuggled up with a cup of coffee and finish watching a series that I was watching. And it dawned on me, I was like, I hope coffee time is still there. It wasn't. So sometimes when the power goes out like that, we lose everything that we've done, and it reverts back to an old one. And so that's exactly what happened. So we had some troubleshooting late last night, got everything put back up. If there's any typos or if anything's not quite as crisp, please be nice to me. It was kind of a chaotic evening. So I didn't get to retire and watch I did, but it was partly while I was awake till 1 a.m. and then woke up. Also why I look like this, because it's a rough morning, but I showered for you. You are so welcome. All right. So how did you do this weekend? Oh, Allie is here. Good morning. Easton has some shots this morning. So poor little baby. Everyone gives Easton some love. Yeah, it was a busy weekend. Dawson is home. So I got Dawson back home from school. That's always a great relief that he gets home safely, although as he typically does, and I don't know about you and the way your body works, but well, that sounds a little bit weird, but I know that when I had my dance studio, and I bet if Jen is watching, she can probably attest to this. She's probably just like me because I think we're sisters. I would almost always, when the studio went on break, whether it was Thanksgiving break or whether it was Christmas break or whether it was spring break, whatever the vacation was, that's when I would inevitably get sick. At the time I was around kids all the time. So we were teaching all the time. So, you were bound to come in contact with all sorts of lovely germies. But I would most often, it was very rare that I was sick while I needed to teach and I had to have someone cover a class. In most cases, like clockwork, as soon as the stress and the commitment and the responsibility of work relieved itself a little bit, that's when my body would go, oh, remember that cold and sinus infection that everybody else had? Well, here, it's your turn now. So that's kind of the way I feel like Dawson probably got through finals, probably, good morning. Probably probably got home and just it was kind of a delayed reaction to being kind of sick and icky. I can only imagine on campuses at college, like, ugh, what's happening there, because those people do not clean their dorm rooms or their apartments, so nastiness. Anyway, so let me see what's going on over here. If I did not get to you to say good morning, you know that I appreciate you. So Amy Carmody, thank you, good morning. I think everybody else I got to. Richard, good morning. You popped in. It is a magical Monday morning. It is. It's a little. It's a beautiful day. So far. We shall see. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about. As always, some good real estate topics, some other fun stuff. But we definitely have that premiere I want to hopefully share with you again today. So let's see. Susan says, whenever Jay came home from deployments, I would wake up sick the next morning. I it does not shock me at all, because that really, well, especially when military husband's on deployment, it's all on you. I mean, and Susan has 4 kids too. I know. And for those of you that don't know the backstory with Susan, when I was in Virginia and our kids were little, our kids are all roughly about the same age, give or take a little bit. But we would have kids in preschool at the same time. We would have kids in elementary school at the time, and middle school at the same time, and high school at the same time. And we knew each other, and she danced at my studio. Her beautiful daughter danced at my studio. But it was just hysterical in that little community of Grafton, Yorktown, Virginia. It was like clockwork. We would run into each other at the intersections, and it was just funny as we're all back and forth and back and forth. So Susan and I go way back. Daryl confirms, so true. Jen is at jury duty today. Wow, good for her. Oh, and I bet she's so happy to do that. Oh, that's amazing. So Jen is at jury duty today, so it's been hilarious. She was trying everything to get out of it, but it wouldn't work. I don't know if I told you, but right when Eric passed away, right when he did, I got the letter for jury duty, and the jury duty was going to be in March. But I mean, Eric had just passed in January, and I was not in any physical, mental, emotional state to do that. So I did ask for a what do you call it, a deferment. So I did get that. So I'm sorry she didn't get out of it, but Melody, I'm taking my emergency right now. I know, right? So is it Zicam? There was something, again, back to Eric, when Eric wasn't doing well, kind of very early on, he had asked me to go to like Walgreens or CVS or something and he listed a few different things. And one of them, I was like, I don't know what that is. And so I got Zicam. That wasn't what he wanted, but I had it. And then when I looked at it, it was like, take one, the onset of symptoms of like a cold or flu. So I swear one day I took one. I was like, well, I'm not a big pill taker, but this was something that like dissolves in your mouth. You just put it under your tongue and it dissolves, and it tastes kind of like, if I recall, it tastes like those orange creamsicles. I don't know if you're as old as I am and you remember the orange creamsicles, or they may still have them. I don't know. But you put it under your tongue and it just dissolves. So it doesn't taste medicine-y. It doesn't really taste chalky either to me. It was fine. And I have this terrible gag reflex. So trust me, if I could get it down, you could. But I swear the next day, like it was like everything had, it just vanished. Now I don't know if one had anything to do with the other, but I'm going to pretend that it did. So if you haven't ever had Zicam, you might could try it. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Good morning, Geraint. We're so happy that you're here. You have to tell us, how are things going as a grandpa? All right, so let's get going with our brewing topics, because we have a lot to go through today, and we have to get off in time for the new premiere. Okay. There that is just like, that's like 1 second too long of a pause for this to pop up, because as soon as I go, I'm like crossing my fingers and it pops up. Okay. Brewing topics today: home pricing, clean up on aisle 3. Are you intrigued? And then another little episode of this or that. That's been fun. We're not going to do it every week, but we'll probably do it again next week. And then once we get into the new year, we'll probably limit that. But it's real fun. It's a fun way to kind of get to know you a little bit. And I don't know, it's kind of gamey. It's kind of fun. So anyway, so home pricing. Okay. So I just have to have this conversation to the general public. Because I see this way too often. I hear this way too often. And I just think that sellers need to understand, if you're looking to sell your home, it's important that you understand how not to price it. That's why you engage a real estate professional. All right. There's training that we have. There's access to information that you may not have that helps us understand the market and give you a professional valuation. Is it always completely on target? No. And you know why? Because we don't control who the buyer is. We don't get to magically manifest this person to come purchase your home. We are subject to whomever is out there buying at the time that your home is on the market, in the area that that person is looking for a home that has the bed, bath count, backyard, front yard, interior fit, finish, style, design that they're looking for at a price point that they can afford. There's so many pieces. So this is why that piece of this is important. And this piece of it is equally important. You cannot price your home based on just what you think it is worth. Okay, there is actual data that is involved. There is market knowledge that is required, and there is an appraisal that is going to have to validate. It's not priced on what you put into it. The number of times, and I love all of my clients, all of them. But the number of times that people, like, even if I don't get the listing, where they're like, well, I put in this and we put in that, and we put in the pool and we did this and we added that. That is going to change the value to some extent, but you do not get dollar for dollar. If you put $25,000 of new, flooring in there and new countertops, you don't get to just mark your home up by that amount. That's not the way it works. I wish it did, but it doesn't. It's not priced on by what your neighbor sold their house for a year ago or 2 years ago. A week ago is going to have an effect on yours. Yeah. 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And you know what? We're going to take that into account when providing you with your valuation of your home. But if they sold it a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that's irrelevant. That was a different time. That was a different market. The home has a different age. Everything is different. So it's important to understand that when you're just thinking, oh, well, Tom down the street, he sold his for $850. Yeah. And you know what? He sold his for $850 a year ago. Maybe yours is worth $9. Maybe yours is worth $825. That's where you reach out to the professional and you take their advice. It is also not priced based on your current debt. True story. I literally had a very, very sweet seller, a little bit older, and literally pulled out her phone and scrolled and showed me her debt, showed me her balances. I owe this on my credit cards. I owe this for a whatever loan. I owe this on my car. I owe this for that. And therefore, I need to sell my house for this. Again, I love you, but that's not the way it works. Obviously, there is not a realtor that exists that doesn't want to get you highest price for your home possible. If nothing else but for selfish terms, a realtor is going to want the higher amount because that affects whatever their commission is. That's not me, but I'm just saying everyone has a vested interest in getting you a higher price, other than, of course, the buyer and the buyer's agent, right? They don't want that. But understand that, okay? Understand that. And then the other part is it's not priced on what Zillow says. And that goes for these other third-party sites as well. The only reason that those third-party sites have any voice in the conversation is that that can affect a buyer's expectation and mental process when thinking about your home and what it's worth. It doesn't mean that Zillow is correct. Sometimes, honestly, sometimes it's pretty close. Sometimes it is way too high, and sometimes it's way too low. So with that vast and inconsistency, why would you put the largest asset that you own, probably in your life, to a third party site? You know, that Eric and I have always said, and I know I've told you probably ad nauseum, you know, home valuation it's part science and it's part art. And the science is the cold, hard data. It's the facts. It's what the market is doing, is what things are selling for. It's what things are closing for. And then the art part of it is going to be, you know what? I have this listing and the road behind the house is getting ready to be a 4-lane road. And that is affecting the valuation. Now, obviously they want to sell it, so we want to kind of sell it before that happens. Or maybe there's something that's going to really increase the value. Like maybe there's a whole new shopping area that's going in a half a mile down the road, which is going to change, you know, the whole dynamic of that area and that community. And it's going to just continue to make it more desirable, and more people are going to flood in. So there's artistic pieces of it that you just kind of know by knowing the area and by doing your homework and by doing the research and understanding those things. And sometimes the third party sites, it's not just Zillow, but sometimes the third party sites, they don't know necessarily all of the artsy part of it. So that can affect things. And you know, it's just important to know that. And that's not a bust on anybody. That's not fussing at anybody. It's just that I think it's important. I have 3 listings that are getting ready to come up, and thankfully all 3 of those listings are, not a one of them had any of those things that I just mentioned. They were all, Amy, we trust you. What do you think? Do the valuation. And I'm like, well, tell me what you've done to the home. Is anything different? Like, did you add a pool? Did you screen in the lanai? I mean, at least those things can be considered, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be a dollar for dollar, you know, increase in the value of your home. So much of that is dependent on the market conditions. And that we can't just pretend that those don't exist just because we really want to make X amount from our home. So, sometimes, you know, I say it, I tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. And that is important to know. And I made that up. I started saying that myself. So if anybody steals that, it was me. You heard it here first, years and years and years ago. That is my job. And I will tell you, it can be a problem if you price your house too high from the very beginning. There's a lot of very obvious things, but there's a lot of things behind the scene that you may not know, how that can be detrimental as well, for the long term and the ability to actually sell it. So anyway, so there you go. That was brewing topic number 1. So what you guys doing? Good morning, King of Miami. So glad you were able to pop in and join us. Better late than never. We are happy to have you a part of us. Oh, Garrett, what'd you say? Everything fine, Joey? 21 months into everything, and as wicked. Oh, I didn't mean to click off of it. And as wicked as they come. And what? Another edition due in May. My youngest son, Reese, and his wife, Rowan. Do you know? Okay, Garrett. So, I wish I could see you in person. So, we did some family. Why do I got to move my hand because I'm clicking buttons and I do not mean to click. We did some ancestry stuff long time ago, and we got into it. And there is a Reese in our family history. Actually, Reese App Thomas, if you want to be like legit. And I know my oldest son for the longest time was like, if I ever have a boy, I want to name him Reese. So anyway, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but that's the way he was spelling it. So anyway, this is so exciting. Congratulations, everyone. Big congratulations to Gary. That's so exciting. Oh my gosh. Just, there's nothing better than babies. There's just nothing. You know, I had, true story, and I promise I'm going to go on to topic number 2. This is my problem. I talk way too much. You're all like, yep. The other day I was having a really bad day. And I don't know why. I've had a few good ones. I had a stretch of a few good days. Not that I was happy, not that, that I wasn't still completely void of color in my life, because I think that's kind of gone. There's no light, there's no real brightness, but I was doing okay. I had a couple good days, a stretch of good days, and I don't know why, but I did okay. And then one day, I don't know why, I just got in the car and I had to go do a little bit more shopping, and I just lost it. The waves started to come again. And I know you know this, and anyone who's ever gone through grief, and by the way, we all do, we all will, we all have. Um, it's different depending on who the person is that passes. But when it hits you, it's just so uncontrollable. And you just feel like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I'm in my car and nobody is watching this meltdown. But I got back and I said, I told Allie, I said, is Easton awake? And she said, yes. And I said, she's like, why? Are you okay? And I said, I just not doing good today. I just need a hug. I just need to see his face. And so, sure enough, I got to, and I keep saying those babies are tiny stitches to a broken soul. So anyway, all right. So let's keep going. Let's see my brewing topic number 2. What is brewing topic number 2? What was it again? Oh, clean up on aisle 3. Okay. All right. So I know you know this, but I don't know who's watching, when they're watching, why they're watching. And I don't know if you heard it the first 85 billion times that I mentioned it, but this is so imperative, because it devastates me when I can't clean up the mess that you made. So before you start the home buying process, always reach out to your realtor first. Before you start going to open houses, you can get your pre-approval first, but before you get into actual house hunting, make sure you reach out to your realtor first. If you want to look at things on the third-party sites, that's fine. But if you start making phone calls and doing things where you've done that before you have reached out and engaged your realtor, it's trouble territory. Taking steps on your own can sometimes create complications that we, meaning realtors, may not be able to fix later. And that's why our expertise and the licensing matters. And I need to kind of go through a scenario and how much it devastates me that I can't fix situations that people get themselves into sometimes. And sometimes it's of their own doing, and sometimes it's that they were misled by someone else in the transaction. And yeah, that can be new construction. I love new construction and I've got some great relationships, but I have to tell you, in this particular situation, not happy. So a very, very quick overview. So if you were to go out and you go into a new construction community, okay, first of all, if you didn't engage your realtor or even tell your realtor. Now, many times when I have clients who are like, hey, we're in town this weekend, we just wanted to go see a couple places, but they didn't necessarily want to meet with me. They were visiting family, or they were trying to do a Disney day. That's part of why you have a person with contacts, because then I can say, no worries. You want to head over, I'll have Victor know to expect you. He works for the builder. Just let me know if you're going to go this weekend or what day you think you'll be there, so that I can make sure he's working. Or Dana's working that day. I'll make sure that she knows to expect you. And that way you're taken care of. You are protected with me as your buyer agent. You can still go. You can still do that on your own. And I'm still there to help you and protect you should the situation arise that's the builder that you choose to move forward with. I've made that connection for you, and we're all on the same page. You're not going in alone. You're represented by me, but you're going by yourself to meet with my person. That's important, and that happens all the time. Now, will every builder do that? No, there are some builders where realtor has to be present at the time. But I will tell you that is not a rule. I've never met a builder representative site agent ever that likes that rule, because that diminishes their relationship with people like me and those other agents out there who do a lot with them. Because I can't be everywhere, every day, every time with every client. There has to be times when, and it's not even just me, they can't necessarily be with me. But that doesn't mean that they're not entitled to that protection and that representation. So if you were to go out, so instance, so situation, client goes, new construction. I'm not aware of anything. Client has not reached out. It's a repeat client. They know me. I'm always going to be their realtor, right? But they just decided to go out on their own, do some exploring, going in, talking, going back and forth with a specific community and builder a few times. House comes up, situation presents itself. They decide they want to move forward. Have they reached out to me? No. Do they expect me to help them? Yes. Do they expect me to be part of the contract? Yes. Because they voiced to the site agent, yeah, we have a realtor. Her name is Amy Kidwell. And they're like, oh, we know Amy. That's great. So client thinks that's enough. Client thinks builder now has me down as their agent and they are now protected. This is not the case, my friends. The builder did not put me down as their agent, but the builder sends them a contract to sign. Client sign contract. I still don't know anything's going on. No one's communicated anything to me. Builder has not reached out. They didn't send me a contract because I'm not on it. Buyers don't know any different because they didn't really pay attention enough to the contract to know that I wasn't a part of it. So they didn't know anything. Fast forward a few months. Now they need to sell their house because they are contingent to sell their house. But that was not written in the contract. You know that why it wasn't written in the contract? Because they didn't have me or someone there to remind builder, hey, this is contingent on them selling their existing home. And that wasn't written into the contract, nor was I a part of the contract, right? So I'm trying to help them sell a house, go through the process. We're on a really tight timeline because theoretically they were supposed to have had that home sold months and months and months ago in order to be able to successfully get it through the market, get it closed, get the funds to be able to close on the new home. Long story short, it was a hot mess, and it's still a hot mess, and it devastates me because I love these people from the bottom of my heart. And ultimately, they signed a contract. They signed a contract that did not have me attached to it, which means I can't help them through the process. And it did not have a contingency written in. They were not protected. Their earnest money deposit was not protected. But they thought everything was okay. But when there's no communication and you do things on your own, it can be a problem. And it is definitely a problem now. And thankfully, credit to this builder in one aspect, they do know me. And I have worked with them a lot. So they did go back and retroactively add me to their purchase agreement for their new home. But that did not take away the fact that the contingency was not written in the contract, nor was their earnest money deposit protected, nor did it give us enough time to get their home sold. And we don't get it sold in time. They lose the house and earnest money deposit is at risk. And it's a hot mess. So when I say clean up on aisle 3, understand this. I wish I had the ability to fix every problem. I wish I could make every single person super happy, find the perfect home, the home of their dreams, and have there be no bumps or bruises along the way. But we're not miracle workers. I always say that you know I can make dreams come true, but I can't fix everything. And if you do things on your own and you get yourself into a situation, I don't have magical powers. The most magical power that I got was that they allowed me to get added to the contract based on reputation and previous, relationships with the builder. But that didn't get us anywhere. It just protected them slightly. By now I can advise them, but it didn't magically get a contingency added in. The builder would not do it, even though I asked. So anyway, just point is, please, 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 please. In this world of AI, in this world of robots, in this world of just screaming into the phone when you're trying to get some information, and that you take you through the abyss of the press 1, press 2 if you're looking for this, and and you just want to speak to a human. I know every single one of you have probably yelled into the phone at some point, I just want a human. Okay, good. Well, you got one. Okay. find your realtor, engage them in the process, even my friends, even if it is just, hey, you know what, Amy, we're thinking of it. I don't know if we're going to or not, but in 2026, we're thinking of moving. We would need to sell our house, but we're thinking about it, and we just wanted to maybe talk to you, get things set up now. Maybe we could come up with a game plan. That's all you need to do, because then we can start that process, and I can make sure that you're taken care of and explain to you what you need to do. But just don't try to go out there and do everything on your own and then think that getting a realtor involved is going to make all of the mistakes washed away. It just doesn't. And it seriously, it hurts my heart. It's one of my biggest frustrations. Okay. All right. Uh-oh. New Jersey Jan, good morning. I love this. I love you guys. You guys are just so fun. Reese is the way he spells it. It's the Welsh way, says Geraint. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. All right. Miss Michelle is here. Where's Miss Michelle? Why is my screen's a little bit oofy goofy? Good morning, Miss Michelle. All right, my friends, let's move on to our third topic, because that's always fun. Let's do our, what is it? Oh, this or that. Okay. So this or that today. Are you ready? Get your fingers ready. Okay, I need to move this. I'm so scared to touch anything. Okay. Oh, I did it. I'm so proud of myself. Okay. Let's go to this or that. All right. This is Santa edition. Now, next week, by the way, next week is going to be our Christmas edition, because it is going to be the Monday before Christmas. We are going to have coffee time, and it will be all Christmas related. I might even have, this is a teaser. Boy, this is a teaser. I might even have some video clips of yours truly as Stitch the Elf in a King's Island production of Santa's Toy Factory. Yeah, I was an elf. Mm-hmm. Yeah, back in the day. I'll tell you all about that next week. But yeah, so make sure you come back next week, because next week we're gonna continue, but it'll be a full Christmas episode. Or episode, it's not a show. Whatever we call it, day. Anyway, all right, so this or that. Are your fingers ready? Okay, all right. So, does Santa come to your house through the chimney or through the door? This is something that I wondered a lot as a child, because our home did not have a fireplace at first. As I was growing up, when Santa was visiting, we didn't have that. So I always wondered how that happened. And true story, in the house growing up, when my brothers and sisters, when we were all there, it wasn't a big house. We didn't have a lot of room. And my older sister had the bigger bedroom. And I think the intent from my mom and dad was that she would have the bigger bedroom and she would share it with me. And therefore more space was good, because it was two girls. The problem was I never was allowed to sleep in there, because my big sister didn't want me to. I did have to, however, sleep in there on Christmas Eve. But otherwise I'd sleep on the sofa in the family room. That was kind of my bed. That's where I'd go to sleep, for years and years and years, until she moved out, and then I got that room. But at any rate, I did get to sleep in there on Christmas Eve. So I always worried about, where was Santa coming? We didn't have a fireplace. Then we changed our garage into a family room and added a fireplace. But by then, Santa no longer visited me. So anyway, so we have, okay, let's see what we have. Chimney, door, magic chimney. Ooh, Jane, I love that. The magic chimney. Chimney. Elizabeth says, depends, I guess. I miss having a chimney. Hi, Fanny. How are you? I miss having a chimney. Man, I miss wood burning fireplace here in Florida. It's the sliding door. I love it. It's the sliding door, says Fanny. I love it. That's fun. Chimney growing up. Now it's the door. Magic chimney. I love it. You guys are awesome. Okay. All right. So like I said, for me, it was the door. And I guess it's always been the door, really. Even though I've had a fireplace since then, Santa couldn't come through it. Okay. Now here's a big controversial topic, at least in my house. Well, not really in my house, because we grew up with it the way we grew up with it. But as we get to have other, son-in-laws, daughter-in-laws into the picture, I wonder where this is going to go. Did Santa wrap or not wrap presents? the gifts from Santa under the tree when you were a kid growing up, were they wrapped or unwrapped? They were not wrapped. They were unwrapped. They were beautiful. They were glowing. They were shining. I was telling my mom my memory of a Christmas. Oh my gosh, I talk so much. I have to keep checking the time. I remember a Christmas where sleeping with my sister, that one night a year where I slept in that room, I had to go to the bathroom. And so I woke up in the middle of the night and she's like, you can't go, Santa's going to come. You can't go. And I was like, well, I have to go pee. I have to go. So, and to get to that, I'd have to take a peek. I didn't have to take a peek, but the family room was right there. Again, it was a small house. So to go to the one bathroom that we had in our house, you would see the family room. And I remember just, look, it's a kid. You can't resist looking. And I just wanted to see if Santa came. I didn't go in and touch anything, but I did. I went in. I should have turned to the right to go to the bathroom, but as I went to the right, I looked to the left, and I saw the magical glow and the sparkle of the Christmas tree over top of my Fisher-Price castle and my big box of crayons and my new baby doll that I would get every year because there's nothing in this world I wanted more than to be a mama. Anyway, so for me, they were definitely unwrapped. I've continued that with or Santa has continued that with our kids. But I know that in some households, for some reason, Santa wraps presents. So it's very interesting. Sydney wrapped. King of Miami wrapped. Okay, Susan Forsgren. Okay, thank you. Unwrapped. Kim Sokolsky, always wrapped. Really? Really? I just don't know this. When I was growing up, says Pam, they were unwrapped, but I wrapped most of my kids except for the very large items. Fred says Santa wrapped until the wee hours of the morning. Wow, Santa wrapped. This is crazy. I'm shocked. Jay, when I was a kid, Santa wrapped until he got so tired and then just placed in white clothes boxes. Okay, that's funny. I need to laugh. Thank you, guys. Fanny, we were opposite growing up, so we decided to go wrapped when it was individual gifts and unwrapped when it was a gift for the whole family. Okay. Amy, okay, unwrapped. Thank you, my people. Jane, Santa sometimes doesn't wrap the huge boxes, though. Melody wrapped. Steele had them wrapped. This is just crazy. I think everyone got crayons. I love it. Only big gifts unwrapped like a bike. Okay, all right. Interesting. Okay, well, to me, that was part of the magic. Part of the magic for me was waking up and seeing just all the toys. There were already boxes under the tree because those were already wrapped presents for the rest of the family, from mom and dad or siblings or whatever. So the wrapped presents, that visual already existed. The difference was that when Santa came, then all of a sudden those gifts were removed and they were replaced with just glorious toys. That's so interesting. Yeah, Susan says maybe it's a Southwest Virginia thing. Maybe. Interesting though. That shocks me. Honestly, I did not know it was going to go that way. Okay, real quick. Before or after 9 a.m. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. Before or after 9 a.m. So for me, we woke the kids up super duper early. It was early morning. Just because we had a lot to do that day and I wanted to soak in every possible minute of it. I didn't want to start at 11 o'clock. We only have a few hours of Christmas Day. Day after Christmas, some of that magic already starts to subside. So I soaked in every second. So how early do you guys get going? Are you early before 9 a.m. or are you later after 9 a.m.? I'm definitely early. All right, let's see what we got here. Before, of course, before. All right, good. You've all redeemed yourselves. All of you crazy Santa wrapped people. At least you're waking up early. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Tracy, before at home and then after at grandparents' house. Yeah, that was us too. When I was a kid, we would get up early, at our house. We would have Santa, and then we would go to my grandmom and granddaddy's house, who lived in the same neighborhood, just a couple streets over, and we would have lunch there, I think. Yeah, we would have lunch there. And have more presents, and then we'd go load up, unload, and then we'd reload, and then we would go to my granny, which was my dad's mom, to that side of the family, in the afternoon, I think. All I know is it was a lot of on the road, which, I I kind of wanted to not have my kids do as much as I loved it, there's only a few years as a little younger kid where you wanted to play and soak in all the fun stuff that you were getting. So maybe that was just selfish of me, but we did things a little bit differently. So most of you were early. Okay, most of you were earlier. Okay, sounds good. Santa cookies or reindeer food? Do you live? Do you leave Santa cookies or do you leave reindeer food or do you do both? We did both. When I was a kid, I don't remember. I'm sure we did, but I don't have any visual memories of me leaving cookies for Santa. I don't remember. I don't have, I'm again, sure I did, but I don't have any actual memories. I have a gazillion memories when I was a mom leaving the cookies for Santa and the celery and some carrot sticks and things for the reindeer. But only as when I was a mom, as an adult with my kids doing that. I don't remember it myself as a kid. I hear both plus some milk. I love it. Both. Okay, you guys are so fun. Both. Cookies for Santa and carrots for the reindeer. Love it, Tracy. Both says Kim. Cookies says Sydney. Both says Sherry. Wilderness Explorers. Hello to you guys. Santa cookies, of course. Santa says Fred, and Santa cookies and eggnog. You leave eggnog for Santa? I hope it's not spiked. I hope it's not spiked because that would not be safe driving. We'll be driving under the influence of some eggnog. Okay, let's keep going. Candy canes or peppermints? Now, when I thought about this, and it's because I love peppermint. I like the little peppermint, just little peppermints that you have all year long. Obviously, candy canes only come out around the holidays. But I was putting some of those out and about around the house in anticipation of Christmas coming up. And it just occurred to me, I was like, oh, that'd be a good this or that. Do you like candy canes? Like if you had a choice right this second, if I handed you a peppermint, a little small round peppermint, or if I handed you a candy cane, which would you take? I used to get the box of all the little candy canes because we would have the parties at the dance studio. Oh my gosh, so much talking. This is so fun though. I love you guys. At the dance studio, we would have our holiday parties and I would put the little tiny, individually wrapped candy canes on their plate and I would have a bunch left over and I would keep them in my car. There was really nothing better than I'd break them up a little bit. So I'd have a little stub of a candy cane and I'd put that in my mouth and it'd be cold outside and I'd just be driving and just so happy. I don't know. There's something about having peppermint and then breathing in cold air. There's just, love it. Anyway. All right. So a lot of you, I must have missed something funny from Jay. Oh, Jay says, neither. I was a little fatty and would have stolen the cookies in the night. You guys are so fun. I swear, I just wish I could see all of you in real life and hug you because you're helping heal my soul. I love you. All right, candy cane. Peppermint, says Pam. Grass for the camels, says Amy. Sherry says peppermints and candy cane cookies. Ooh, I love it. Okay. All right, let me go back. Where was Jay's thing? Let me pick that up. Okay. Naughty or nice? Okay, well, I'm nice. I'm not a naughty person. So what are you? Are you naughty or nice? I probably shouldn't ask that question. That's probably not a good one, but you can go ahead and do that one. And as you're telling me if you're naughty or nice, and by the way, I sure hope that none of you actually got coal in your stocking or anything. I hope all of you were always on the nice list. Please tell me that you were all on the nice list because it would absolutely devastate me if there was ever a day that you were ever disappointed by something so magical. So naughty or nice. And then let's keep on going. Practical gift or fun? Are you the type of person that likes to provide practical gifts or fun gifts? And Santa edition, did Santa usually provide practical gifts or fun gifts? Obviously in my household, it was all fun. Santa was fun. The clothes and the pajamas, that all came from family. But my Fisher-Price castle or the A-frame house, all of that came from Santa and my crayons. Okay, so yep. So let's see. Okay, most of you are nice. Nice, nice, nice. I wish I could have been naughty, but I'm nice. Both. Kim says she's both. King of Miami is nice. Tracy is both. All right, so keep going. Depending on the person, when it comes to the presents, oh, I see what you're saying. You guys are funny. Good morning, Vicky Mendoza. Hi, Eric. How are you? So Santa fun. Fanny says Santa is fun, practical from grandma. I know, right? My granny, my dad's mom, every time we would go, we would get pajamas. We knew that's what we're getting. All the grandkids got pajamas. And as an adult, I'm like, oh, that was really nice. But as a kid, you're like, oh, get pajamas. But but now I'm like, oh, I'd love some new pajamas. Okay, let's keep going. So Santa brought fun, but I'm horribly practical in my gift giving. Sydney says either, depending on the person. Melody, when I was a kid, mostly practical, as a mom, fun. Yeah, very good. All right, Santa tracker, yes or no? So we did the Santa tracker with our kids. We made sure that we kind of tracked him. And I can't remember what the website is, but there's the website where you can track where Santa is. And it was so helpful in making sure that the kids got to bed early or on time. And in our house, I don't know about you, maybe it's because when our kids were little and we were in Virginia and we were so close to a lot of military things, maybe that had something to do with Santa making test runs, because Santa would make test runs at our house. And one time he even dropped his hat. He dropped his hat in our yard. I cannot believe it, but it's okay. We left it for him the next year. I'm sure he had plenty of hats. But anyway, but Santa used to make test runs. And so that was really good. So between the Santa tracker and the test run, with those bells, we would hear the bells. Sometimes we knew that we needed to get the kids, had to go to bed right away. But yeah, we definitely did the Santa tracker. No tracker, says most of you. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. And then Santa, same or different from when you were young? This is the last question, and then we're going to move on. So was Santa, like, do you do for Santa now? For those of you that have kids, and I know not everyone here has kids, maybe your kids are grown, or maybe you never had kids, or whatever the case is. Maybe you don't have them yet. Maybe you don't want them. But when you were a child, with Santa, do you do the same thing now? If you do Santa, if Santa comes to your house now, wow, it's hard to make sure I say these things. If Santa comes to your house now, does he do things the same way, or is he evolved over time compared to the way you had it happen when you were a kid? Wow, that is a terrible way to say all of that. That was not very eloquent. Sorry. But you know what I mean? Does Santa come now the same way he did when you were a kid? The answer to me, yes. When my kids were younger and Santa would come, absolutely the same way as when I was a kid growing up. Unwrapped presents under the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree was lit all night long. It was magical. The only difference is that before the kids came down the stairs to see what Santa brought, we would make them stop and sit at the top of the stairs. Eric and I would run downstairs just to make sure that Santa did indeed come, because we didn't want anyone to be disappointed. And we would get the coffee pot going, and we would turn on Christmas music and make sure all the lights and everything was just as picturesque as it could possibly be. And then the kids would come down holding hands, and treasured memories. So anyway, Fanny says Santa's the same. Gary says different, but it's been 60 years since I was a kid. I know. I totally get that. Tracy says it is done the same. Well, I love that. Well, next week we're going to have probably another this or that. Susan says he's the same for me, but not the same for Jay. Yep. Allie is like, time check. It's 9:50. Yes, I know. In other words, she's saying, shut up. Oh my God, that sounded just like Eric. He would always say, shut up. Anyway. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let's go on. Let's go on. Let's go on. Let me do secret. Okay, so here is a little secret. Land Sea Homes is now Risewell Homes. Now, this is important to note just because this happens all the time. So I figured I would do a quick little description or explanation of why this can happen. It's not always a bad thing. And my conversation here has nothing to do with Land Sea Homes or Risewell. This is just why and how this can happen in very, very general terms, not specific to this specific one, okay? Because it's important to note that. So why do the builders change their names? I know some of you, many of my clients have started out a build process with one builder, and by the time the home was built, the builder had changed names. And that happens quite a bit. And here's a few reasons as to why. Rebranding, marketing, changing the buyer demographic, meaning first-time home buyers, which is probably going to be a more entry-level home with maybe some more builder-grade fit and finish on the interior. Therefore, it's keeping the cost lower to help a first-time buyer be able to achieve home ownership. Also, luxury homes, the complete opposite. Maybe there's a branding of the builder to really accentuate their luxury brand. Or maybe there's a demographic of the 55 plus, for instance, Del Webb, right? Now, that's not that they changed their names, but Del Webb is Pulte, right? So you can change things in that regard. I'm sure there's tax benefits, asset management, mergers, acquisitions, also bankruptcy, business restructuring in general, defect and warranty management, especially in states where the buyers are very well protected. There can be scenarios where it's not so great. But when I first started out, Standard Pacific Builders and Ryland Builders merged to become Cal Atlantic. Cal Atlantic was then bought or acquired by Lennar. Royal Oak Homes started out as Royal Oak, and then they merged, I believe, with another builder. They became a different brand. They didn't like that. They went back to their roots and was Hanover Family Builders. Hanover Family Builders was then acquired by Landsea Homes, which we're talking about now, but Hanover then became Trinity Family Builders. That particular builder has maintained the core foundation, which I love. I very much respect that builder and their lineage and their family generational concept of their build and their business. But of course, if there's financial gain, if there's situations, that is why builders can change. So Landsea Homes is now Risewell. Okay, I have to keep going. I'm gonna keep going. Wishes. Okay, well, congratulations. We have on the 19th, I have 2 different closings. Jim, if this can happen, we are going to have the biggest party. Jim is the client who has purchased the short sale home that we have discussed several times here on Coffee Time and some of the challenges with that. Just FYI, the original closing date was October 14th. Now it's December 19th. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. So everyone, please send Jim all the happy mojo you can possibly send his way to make sure that this closes successfully on the 19th. And Amy and Michael are building with a builder, new construction. Their home is complete. We are so stinking excited. They are getting ready to close the beautiful Pulte home on the 19th as well. So two closings on the same day. Shocking, and very excited for them. All right, let's do scoop. Oh, look at it go. Okay, so right here at 10 o'clock, by the way, we're going to end here in just a minute. Over Heart and Home Richmond, we are going to have the new homes for the holidays is going to continue with a Park View quick move-in home. That's what QMI stands for. That is going to be a premiere. So just like we've done, and we'll do one more next week. We're just going to do it through the month of December. We won't do it every Monday, don't worry. But if you want to hang out with us, we're going to give you a 5-minute countdown this time. So we'll make sure we end here on time, and then you can switch over, go have a potty break, go refill your coffee, go get some water, go get some cold caffeine, go get a snack, go get whatever you want, and then make sure you come back and premiere this video with us as well. One thing you guys have been talking about is the elf on the shelf, and I want to talk about that next week. So I am going to make sure. I don't understand how this goes sometimes. Let's see. What did I do? Okay. Anyway, the elf on the shelf. We're going to talk about that next week because it's a fun Disney related story with our elf on the shelf. So I want to make sure we kind of go through that. All right. Let's see. What else do I have? This, and then we're going to go. Okay. This is amazing. It is called Ripple, and I honestly I can't remember if I'm watching it on Hulu or Amazon Prime or Netflix. I don't know, but look it up. It's called Ripple, Ripple. It is an intertwining of lives where decisions are made and how one decision or one thing, one person, one moment affects the trajectory of things and how we're all intertwined. And it is absolutely amazing. And I think it's 6 episodes, maybe. I sure hope there's a second season. But it's really good. It's really good. It's very relatable. If you watch it, you'll know why. It's very relatable to me. There's one man going through the loss of his spouse, and another man's going through cancer. So it's got all the feels, but it's a really, really good series or show. So if you're so inclined, go ahead and watch that. Okay, so one more thing. What can I do? One more. Oh, I'll do full. I'll do cup. Okay, so Santa is coming to Mimi's house. I am so excited. I need this so much. I am so excited that Santa is going to come to Mimi's house, and Elizabeth and Steele and Elsie are going to so graciously share that magical moment with Mimi. I'm so excited. So a lot of this Santa conversation, I'm going to let them do their own thing, however they choose to do it, because that's their traditions that they're going to start. But golly, I'm so excited about that. I just cannot stand it. That's my Christmas present right there. So super, super, super duper excited about that. Okay, so what we're going to do, just as a reminder, Allie has posted in here. Let me do it again. Save this link for the premiere after coffee time. Make sure you go to that. We're going to switch over. We're going to watch the premiere video of the, what did I just say it was? Know what it was. I can't remember now which one it is. But we're going to watch that one together. Feel free if you can. Like I said, we'll give you a 5-minute countdown in case you need to go run, refill your drink, or have a potty break. Other than that, my friends, I just like to tell you that seriously, there is just so much that I don't know. I'm so grateful to each of you for everything that you bring to my life. Every single Monday, there's so many different things that I think and I feel and I say and I'm trying to do and I'm trying to grieve and I'm trying to plan and I'm trying to live and I'm trying to figure out how. And, someone had a beautiful Venn diagram, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to get out of here. A Venn diagram of when, you lose your spouse. You have your spouse and you have you, and then you have that. And when someone passes, you lose like 2/3 of yourself, because so much of who you are was with that person. So you guys are helping me tremendously. So I adore you. With that, I will tell you, always give me a call or text at 407-848-8042. If you're in Virginia, 757-329-0055. And with that, as always, my friends, I adore you. Please stay safe. Stay well. Remember, I love you. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. Have a great day and happy house hunting, and I'll see you in a minute.